I hope September is up to a good start. Good evening. How are you? Oh my word. You know that song for Wake Me Up When September Ends? Is that you? Are you going to want to be woken up at the end of September? Oh my word. I hope we make the best of it. Good evening and thank you so much for choosing to hang out with me. My name is Eric. If you're new here, thank you so much. Look at you. I appreciate you. You know, you'd be anywhere else in the world, but here you are just chilling with me. I don't take it lightly. If you're also new and you're wondering, oh my goodness, what's this Eric thing about now? So it's just conversations of my own that I like to have with you around issues of everyday life as it pertains to money, sex, relationship. And it's from books I've read, my own personal experiences, just so that together we can try and figure life out as adults, right? And I love your perspective. I don't speak at you, I speak with you. I don't think life to be linear, it's layered. So your perspective helps me grow. And what I've done is I've availed all mediums possible that I can reach to you and you can reach back to me. So in that regard, I'm on Twitter, I'm on Instagram, I'm also on YouTube. Please subscribe to the channel and hit my DM while at it and let me know your mind about these conversations. Even on the comment section, I appreciate it. I don't take it lightly. So, you know, in the recent past, maybe 5 years now, I've made a habit to meticulously take notes about my experiences, be it in a romantic relationship, be it in a work environment, or anything I come in and out of. I really keenly look at my contribution in terms of failure or successes in that particular regard. And it's helped me in two fronts, so that I don't repeat the same mistake, and two, so I grow. And in the same regard, I've been thinking about how you know if a relationship is worth your while. Are there ways you can tell, do you think? Because, you know, it's not cast on stone that people look for the same things. Some people just say, you know, now things are going well, I'll stay. If things become topsy-turvy, I'm going to leave. Other people say, oh, her waist is so tiny. Oh my God, have you seen her waist? And the behind is so big. And maybe a woman would say, oh, he has a very nice broad chest. And oh, he has a job. He has a job. You know, so people want different things. But in my many failures, oh my goodness, I've failed spectacularly. In my many failures, at least in the past relationships, I've elected about 5 things I think are things of value that I look going forward to be very cognizant of before I decide that a relationship is worthy of my pursuit. And I want to share those with you. I hope it's conversational. Share with me your mind about this, especially if you're married or you've been dating for a long time, what you think is important and I have to have before somebody thinks a relationship worthy. Shall we? So the first thing I think, if you genuinely respect one another, there's something in there. All right. Respect upon leaving the room, at least in my past relationships, it's always just downhill from there. All right. So respect has a lot to be said about the success of a relationship. And there are very many ways. I mean, respect is broad, but there are healthier ways to respect each other in a relationship. For instance, if you can compromise, if you are listening to them, if you are supporting their career, if you're saying to and about them in regards to positive and nice things and not speaking ill of them, that is just segments of respect. Building each other up and not tearing each other down is respectful and is nice. So maybe a conversation to have is to really get to know your partners or your possible would-be partners, ways that they find you to be respectful towards them. Does that make sense? Yes. What is respect? What does respect mean for them? All right. So that you can respect them in ways that are meaningful to them. That's very important. So if you genuinely respect one another, it's worth the pursuit, I think. What do you think? Second thing, you share visions for your lives. Do you want similar things? Or do you have a division about your visions? Does somebody want to settle in the village while the other person is hell-bent to dwell in the city? That's going to be a problem. Do you both want marriage? Do you want marriage? And what does marriage mean to you in terms of wanting marriage? Does it mean in a church? Or are you just easy going to the AG's office or going to a traditional chief? All right? Or an elder? What does marriage mean to you? Do you both want kids, perhaps? Do you both want to pursue your careers? Do you both want to travel the world even as you're doing marriage together? I think if you are not, if you're smart about your vision, it's going to be a problem. It would be a problem. And it can be something as simple as, I want my wife to live in the village and I'll provide for her there. And you're thinking, no, I'm so career driven. There's no way I'm moving to the village. Amos, you move to the village. So I think having similar visions or sharing a vision for your lives is very important. What do you think? All right? I think that's very, very important. How you forgive. I think the willingness to forgive and being readily able to forgive past mistakes repeatedly has its place. If you're a short fuse and things really upset you so quickly and you pack your bags and leave, it's very difficult. So I think you have to be willingly able to forgive and repeatedly. All right? No, it's important. It's important. Maybe you've caught them on a lie. You want to be able to work it out. I think that's very important. It's very difficult when you are dating somebody whose foot is always at the door. I mean, the slight mistake, they're like, you know what, it's never that serious. Cheers, cheers, cheers. Yeah, so forgiveness has its place as well. Your values ought to be aligned. Oh, my word. So principles or standards of behavior are the best definition I would think of as values. And values are so important. They're very important. A simple thing like empathy. Maybe you come from a culture where people are not sentimental. So I'm like, oh, babe, I have a headache. Because I've realized that about me. So I say, I have a headache. And they're like, so you go take water. Headache, headache, headache. You are a man. Go to the kitchen and take water. Pooh. Maybe empathy is very important to them. So you want to learn that about them. What do they value? Are you aligned about values? All right. Accountability is another thing to speak about in regards to value. Are they accountable with money, with themselves? Do they have self-respect? All right. Can you leave them in the house with your young sister and not worry yourself sick that he might be funny? Can you leave her with the houseboy and not think, oh my goodness, she might start doing something to him? Trust is another thing. Do you trust them? Conversation to have. Communication. How do you communicate? Are they given to stonewall when you fall into a spat? Do they block you when the argument gets so intense? Are they children growing up in adult bodies? Vulnerability is another thing. Can you be vulnerable with them? Are they vulnerable with you? All right. Companionship is another thing and a value that I think is very important. Just being your partner's friend. I've dated people in the past, maybe one who wasn't quite my friend, and it's so difficult. I mean, love is amazing, but it's important to equally date people you like. I mean, you should like them. You should like them. Can you stand their malevolence? Or you just love them, you love them? I mean, because love does fade, but it's very helpful when you're dating somebody you like. You like them. That goes a long way. Are they your friends? Can you kick it? Can you walk into the room and then you say, you know, I had the most stressful day, and they'll be happy to listen as a friend would? I think that's very important. So under values, alignment in values, check for those things. All right? Principles and standards of behavior under trust, communication, empathy, accountability, you know, and companionship, aka friendship. And then finally, I think being psychologically aligned is very important. This is when your values match up with your actions. Your values match up with your actions. They are not misaligned, all right? So that wherever you act in a way which does not match with your value, you put yourself out of alignment. It's as simple as that. Put another way, our ethical standards serve as foundation for our moral compass. So they are not given to things that they do that you find to be off. I know this lady who told me that she can't even start to have a conversation with a guy who drinks. And she had valid reasons for that. She said her home was wrecked because her father used to drink a lot. So she's petrified by alcohol. She doesn't touch it and didn't want anybody who drinks. Even a glass of wine, she wouldn't stand it. She doesn't want alcohol. So you might be thinking, oh, it's innocuous, just a glass of wine and a shot when I'm feeling stressed. Somebody else cannot stand it. So are you psychologically aligned about such things, perhaps? Are those things that you think are important? All right? I think those things help Yes, there is a conversation around your height and your skin tone and how round and oniony your posterior is, and even that you have a job and you're working. That's amazing. But I think if you add on to these things, or you find somebody who's willing to work around these things, it can make for an even more better relationship. What do you think? Please share with me your mind, especially if you're married or you've been in a long committed relationship. What are the things should somebody work towards achieving so that they make for a better relationship? Good evening and good night.